I'm getting very, very close to wrapping up my big underground Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I thought it'd be super fun to draw a map that shows off the entire adventure. So let's draw a map. Every month on my Patreon, I publish a new tabletop role-playing game zine. They're guidebooks by Flick Silverpin, a roaming halfling bard adventurer. Each adventure is designed to be a one-shot, like a point crawl through a dangerous mountain region, or a randomized dungeon crawl through a kobold lair, or a city setting filled with bat people that might also be cultist. They work great as one-shot adventures, but you can string them together into one big campaign as well. So it starts in Dragontown, where the players discover a mysterious creature called the Darkness Below, and then they have to go underground and through all these trials and crazy places to eventually save the world from this evil darkness. So the first 7 zines are complete, and I just wrapped up planning the final 3, so there's gonna be 10 in total. And now that the whole adventure is planned out, it's finally time to draw a map that links all of these adventures together visually. Like all of the illustrations I do for these zines, I'm drawing this map in Photoshop. I'm using a really simple custom brush that has just a little bit of texture to it. And I started by making just a really rough sketch, planning out all the different areas and how they connect. I've put that on its own layer, reduced the transparency, and now I'm doing the actual map drawing on its own layer. Very similar to how I would do this on a regular sheet of paper. You know, I would start with a plan and use a pencil to sketch it out and then go over top of it with ink. I'm basically just doing that, but in Photoshop. So this map is a side view map, which I found myself drawing quite frequently throughout this adventure because most of it takes place underground and the players are kind of always descending down deeper and deeper. And this style map really shows off that descending progress. And really, I'm making this map for 2 reasons. The first is to show the scale of the areas the players are exploring. So like, how big is the kobold lair compared to the Emperor of Worms, compared to the fiery caldera. And second is to show how these adventures connect. Because really, I want to give my patrons and everybody who's running this campaign all the resources they need to understand what's going on in the clearest way possible. Because, you know, it's fun to use these zines as little one-shot adventures, but it's also, at least I think, pretty cool for them to be strung together into one epic world-saving campaign. So if all this sounds cool to you, I have a video that flips through the Dragontown zine. You get a good preview of it. The card should be popping up. And I also have a video that goes through the first 3 Patreon adventures. That card should be popping up soon too, and pretty soon I'll do a video that goes over the Emperor of Worms, the Red Growth, and the Fiery Caldera zines as well. Right now, all 7 of these books are available in my shop. The link is down in the description. Or if you don't want the physical copies, you can always go over to Patreon, sign up for the digital tier, and you can download all of the past adventures that are available at whatever time you're signing up at. Hopefully that makes sense. Check out the Patreon. Now, the fun thing about drawing this map is that you get a nice little preview of what the next 3 zines are gonna be. So if you sign up to Patreon this month in March, you will get Flick Silverpin's Guide to the Errant Tower. It's a floating tower deep underground that belongs to an eccentric wizard who's actually the one that is in charge of keeping the Darkness Below imprisoned. The players get to explore this shifting tower and discover the wizard's dark secret. In April, I'll be dropping Flick Silverpin's Guide to the Sky Garden. In this adventure, the players go from being deep, deep, deep deep underground to being way, 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 way high up in the sky. It's where the veil between the earth and the stars is thin, and the Sky Garden is home to these weird giant creatures and also very magical item that could be helpful in defeating the darkness below. And that takes us to May, when the final zine will be released, the 10th issue that completes this campaign setting, Flick Silverpin's Guide to the Darkness Below. This adventure is the final showdown with the massive primordial creature that wants to consume all the magic everywhere and cover the world in darkness. So anyway, back to the map. I thought it would be really cool to have each of the areas be their sort of own color to help differentiate the adventures and make it extra clear which area is which. So I'm using a pretty simple color palette that I've put together for these zines. All of the covers and whatever kind of extra stuff that I put in with the zines each month use this pared down color palette. So I'm trying to match each area with its cover to make sure everything kind of feels cohesive and makes sense visually. Now, I usually like making maps that could be considered in-game artifacts. You know, it's always cool to make something and then be able to hand it to your players to use. But I think really this map is just for the Dungeon Master. You know, I wouldn't want players to know each and every step of the adventure and be able to just see the shortcuts to bypass whole sections. And really, I think sometimes it's okay just to make a map for yourself if you're the Dungeon Master, or in this case, make a map that's just super useful and helpful. It's almost like an infographic that just makes it easier to string all of these adventures together and have it all make sense in your head. Let me know what you think of the map, how it turned out down in the comments, and if you're interested in any of these crazy adventures, definitely go check out the Patreon or my online shop. Both are linked down in the description. I hope this video didn't feel too much like an ad, but really all the support I get from the Patreon and my online shop really helps me to be able to make these videos every week. So of course, I super, super, super appreciate all of the support. Thank you so, so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!